This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and we have a lot to get to today. It seems as though, and obviously everything that's been dominating the news, Jay, has been this Guthrie thing. I mean, every time you turn on the news, you can't watch anything else. There's nothing else on television. And that should tell you right there, first of all, that the media can spit propaganda to you, if they want to. If anybody has ever thought, can the media actually do propaganda? This should tell you right here. I'm not saying the Guthrie thing is propaganda, but what I'm saying is when all the media and all you can ever see is one story 24 hours a day, that should tell you all you need to know, Jay. I mean, what have you seen? Have you seen any other news stories?
No, I mean, Fox News is basically the infomercial for this case. It's got a phone number for the FBI on it and everything, and I'm not making light of anything here. It's very perplexing, very bizarre at times, though. And yeah, the media has absolutely just said, we're running with this one. It's probably getting them ratings, so that's why they're going to keep doing it. It's kind of like that when that airliner was Malaysia, when the airline just disappeared years ago, and CNN ran with that for months on end because they were getting ratings out of it. And this is what they do. For watching it.
Yeah. I mean, that is just some really, really crazy stuff. So we are going to talk about the Guthrie situation in a little while. And we have some interesting information about that, just coincidences, if you will. And, we always like to say, too many coincidences equal a conspiracy. Well, I like to say, like last time we talked about Epstein, 4 coincidences is about what you need to consider it a conspiracy. 3 coincidences, it's kind of iffy, but 4, there's no mistake in it. And there are more than 4 coincidences in this case, Jay. I mean, there's so much information going around about this. But first, how this is just a quick little sidebar. You know how The Simpsons is like the predictor of stuff, right? Like it can predict certain things. Like you'll see on shows, 20 years later, you'll see something that, The Simpsons predicted that, like when like Trump being president and stuff like that. Yeah. I want you to see this. Check this out. This right here, The Simpsons predicted Epstein Island. You want to see what I'm talking about? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. The Simpsons, again, are right, predicting Epstein Island. How amazing is that, Jay? I mean,
that is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, is it not? It would have to be. So I want you to take a listen to this. Attention. Oh, man. Doesn't that sound like it can even go up any louder? Please tell me that's not as low as it's going to go. Attention. Some crazy creeps on an island somewhere are secretly running the world. Could you hear that? Were you able to hear that?
Yeah.
That was, but for anybody that couldn't hear that, I'm sorry. I don't know why the volume on that is so low, but it's Homer Simpson typing on the computer. And he said, attention, some crazy creeps on an island somewhere are secretly running the world. I mean, if that's not the Simpsons predicting some more shit, I don't know what is, Jay. You tell me, what do you think? I mean, was he not correct?
I don't know. Was that also the episode where the bit, the famous meme of Homer when he's going back into the bushes to get away?
Oh yeah, hell, that's the best meme you could possibly have. Whenever somebody says something awkward or weird, you put that on like you're trying to bounce back off of it. I love it. But no, he says, just like all the Simpsons usually predict, he says, attention, some crazy creeps somewhere are secretly or on an island are secretly running the world. Oh, I mean, God. Is he wrong, Jay? Was he wrong in this instance?
Apparently not.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm laughing too hard right now.
Is that not amazing?
I mean,
when the Simpsons can tell you what's actually happening in the world, something's wrong.
Let me tell you, we should have paid more attention to the Simpsons, and it was kind of, he's like Biff's book from Back to the Future too. They knew everything. We should have started making bets.
I know. Is that not amazing? I mean, they knew that Trump was going to be president. There's a whole list of other stuff, but now they knew Epstein's Island. They knew that there was. He literally says crazy creeps on an island secretly running the world. Is that not exactly what Epstein Island was?
Oh man, apparently, yeah. I mean,
wow. Man,
now I want to watch The Simpsons. Forget the show. Let's just play The Simpsons.
Oh, I know. It's no better, right? Wow, that's amazing stuff. Okay.
Deborah just said, Hollywood always knows. What did I say last week? That what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it Hollywood or is it no? Hollywood usually does this stuff, or we're like, that's just make believe.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. But see, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of symbolism in Hollywood. You know, like a lot of the things you see in movies were intentionally put there as symbols. And a lot of people don't know that. And once they wake up to that kind of thing and they actually see what's happening, Hollywood is a mirror of the world. It's a mirror of real life. And what it is it's also a predictor, like what do you call it kind of not a predictor, but a foreshadower of something that's either happening or going to happen. But it's also predictive programming.
Well, Hollywood loves foreshadowing, Jack. Hollywood loves foreshadowing in their movies and in their TV shows. Foreshadowing is a huge part of hooking you into a show. So there you go.
Yeah, no. And they're always they seemingly always right. Now check this out, Jay. So apparently, and this is some kind of breaking news that maybe a lot of people don't know. The FBI has concluded that Jeffrey Epstein was not running a sex trafficking ring for powerful men. That's what they say, that he was not running a sex ring for powerful men. He wasn't doing it. It wasn't happening.
According to the FBI, yeah, that came out in these files that they had decided that no, this just wasn't happening. I don't know, Jack. I'm going to need a little more than that to convince me. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no. When the FBI just comes out and says, you know what? It wasn't happening. We're just going to, just forget about it. Don't worry about it. Trust us. Trust me, bro. That's what they're saying.
Right. Yeah. Trust me, bro, is not cutting it this time. It shouldn't cut it any time. But, when these files now, this last batch, and they say this is all of them, there's no more. But when now all of a sudden you're seeing like things are starting to happen, especially in Europe, like people resigning, people are just being, fired. Prince Andrew's getting kicked out of the family finally. So this batch is actually reopening some things a little bit, and it's kind of giving us new life again.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about how it connects to Guthrie in a little while. But first, there is some crazy things. Not just the fact that the FBI concluded that Epstein was not running a sex trafficking ring for powerful men, even though The Simpsons said he was. So it's obvious, that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, because if they can't connect, if The Simpsons is saying it's a sad day when you believe The Simpsons over the FBI, Jay. And I think that's what's going on here. I believe The Simpsons. What about you?
I think they should actually go through every Simpsons episode for the show's been on the air for almost 30 years now. It's incredible. Longest running show ever, right? They should go through probably every Simpson episode, and they'll probably crack a lot of cases not even related to this one, because The Simpsons seems to know everything. Like you said, run through every episode. And if you have any cold cases, check out The Simpsons. I don't know.
All right. So there is something that I want to mention in these Epstein files, okay? Have you heard the word jerky mentioned in any of these files?
I have not. I know of the Jerky Boys, and I like beef jerky.
Well, you're not going to like this beef jerky, because this jerky seems to mention children's meat, if you will.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No. So, and for everybody that says, hey, they're just talking about beef jerky. Okay. Nobody in Epstein's emails talks about beef jerky 900 and something times. Okay. I want you to listen to this. And after you listen to this, you tell me, Jay, if they're talking about beef jerky or if they're talking about eating children. Yeah. Okay. You tell me. And I want you to take a listen. Tell me what you think.
Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? I also added more to the jerky and ginger lemongrass. Thank you so much. Super cool. Beef jerky, delicious. Jojo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. Why would jerky walk around? Suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag. Just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. jerky. He said he has 6 bags of it in a downstairs freezer. Why would you freeze jerky? Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. I felt like it was more important for you to have the jerky to eat during my time off. My plan is to make a batch before I leave for LSJ, and some of that will go to Steve, and the rest will go to you at LSJ when I arrive. Little St. James Island. And that's what LSJ must mean. So logically, that means that they were doing this off of the island. Steve Hansen is sending jerky to your attention overnight. I believe it should be enough to get him through. Jeffrey Epstein is asking to bring him more jerky. I'm flying in on Friday. I will bring jerky. Is there a time I could come say hi and drop off the beef jerky? And that's from Jeffrey Epstein. Francis has time to come tomorrow. Show me how to make it. Jerky class anyone. He will bring you to taste his new jerky recipe from the restaurant. He sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called, guys, the restaurant's called Cannibal and Cooks. Who sends beef jerky to a lab for analysis? I was looking for the beef jerky as I knew it was in my suitcase, and I thought that maybe I left it on the beach, only to find a small plastic bag near my dog's bed. I'll email Francis to make us some more, as I need 6 to 8 ounces to send to the lab.
6 to 8 ounces to send to the lab. First of all, Jay, who in the hell talks about jerky all the free? I mean, there is no way that they're making their own jerky, that they're this obsessed with jerky on Little St. James Island, where there are child predators and children everywhere. Are they talking about jerky?
I have to finish throwing up in my mouth first. Has anybody looked? Why are we told we're crazy when we hear this and we think what we think? The same thing with the pizza. Has anybody ever, is it in these files where we know that the FBI investigated jerky? Do we know this? Is it anywhere there where we have an FBI investigation that they, and jerky investigated,
well,
mentions
like
of jerky investigated, case closed? Is it there? Did they ever even look at it?
Not that I'm aware of, but like Hickser said, who says I need 6 to 8 ounces of jerky to get me through? What in the hell does that mean?
I don't even want to know what it means, because I don't want to think about it, but I guess we have to. And that's my question now. These things are there. Why is there no mention that I've seen or you've seen or anybody has seen yet where the FBI comes out and says, well, we investigated these mentions of jerky because, we found it a little odd, right? We think that might be a little odd.
You know what?
We investigated it and we came up with nothing. Where is that? I need that.
I am glad you brought up why they haven't done an investigation, because there is a short video that's only a few seconds long that I want you to listen to. Actually, it's 1 minute long. I want you to hear this, because this right here should tell you all you need to know about why they haven't investigated the jerky. Take a listen.
Thank you. You said this is the end of the Epstein, of your review of the Epstein files. So just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said, and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like,
do you see how he tried to treat him like he was stupid? Wait a minute, men that abuse these girls? What are you talking about?
what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
What does that mean? Men that abuse the girls? What are you talking about?
Seems pretty
Well, I mean,
self-explanatory.
They're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them.
If we had information about men that abused women, we would prosecute them. See, this right here is Todd Blanche. He is the actual person that runs the DOJ. It is not Pam Bondi. It is Assistant Attorney General Todd Blanche. He is the person that runs the DOJ. That is the reason that you are not getting investigations into Epstein. That is the reason why nobody is being prosecuted. And he is the reason you will not know the real meaning of jerky in terms of an actual definition.
Well, Todd Blanche, a Democrat. Yes, President Trump's personal lawyer, but President Trump was a Democrat for most of his life, so that kind of tracks too. Listen, I remember when that happened. I was watching live when that question was asked, and I said, okay, so basically they're saying there are no men. It was just Jeffrey Epstein. That's basically what they're going with here.
Well, add that to the fact that they said that there was no sex trafficking ring today. Add those two things together.
Right. So, and the question is, like, we're reading this stuff, jerky and these code words and all this. Was an investigation done? Ask that question, Mr. Blanche. Was an investigation done into all these mentions of jerky? Because it sounds pretty shady. It sounds like code. So was an investigation done? And I want the specific answer. He's going to say, well, and we'll get into this now because I know it's going to lead up to different things we're going to talk about. If we had actual men, we would investigate them. Well, you can't possibly tell me that Jeffrey Epstein's the only one. It's impossible. It's impossible. Ghislaine Maxwell was not just trafficking or providing girls for one man. I can't believe that. I can't. I'm not saying it's 1,000 men. I'm not saying it's 100 men. I'm not saying it's 10 men. It's more than one, though. It's got to be.
Oh, it's without a doubt. There were thousands of women that were trafficked through here. Children, women. If you go throughout the emails, you find instances of coded words where kids were actually killed. There were satanic rituals performed. It's not just Jeffrey Epstein. Think about the Bohemian Grove, okay? The Bohemian Grove is like their meeting place. It's their overall fortress, if you will. But Little St. James Island is like their vacation. Why do you think his email was GE Vacation? Okay? Jeffrey Epstein Vacation at gmail.com. Because Little St. James was their vacation spot. It's where they left the Bohemian Grove, where they left politics and Hollywood and all that, and went to go abuse children in the safety of an island that has no police, that has no security or anything that's going to bother them. So yes, there's been pictures, there's been logs, there's evidence, there's videos. The thing is, when you have somebody in there like a Todd Blanche that's not going to prosecute anybody, you're not going to get investigations. He runs the DOJ. The DOJ is the one that does the investigations into things like this. The FBI is run by the DOJ. So when you hear the DOJ say, hey, we don't have any examples of men abusing women. When you hear the DOJ say, hey, there was no, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't sex trafficking women to people on the island. It's a cover up and a lie, because they know that if one person comes crashing down, they will all come crashing down. So they got to save every last one of them, Jay.
And maybe a lot of people don't know this. The second lady, I guess, of the Virgin Islands, what was her name? Cecile DeYoung, I believe. She was very connected to Jeffrey Epstein for a long time. So Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of connections in the Virgin Islands. Put that together too. Again, you can't expect us to believe, you just can't. A reasonable person cannot be expected to believe that this Ghislaine Maxwell was just doing this for Jeffrey Epstein. It's just impossible. It's just impossible for me to believe that as a reasonable person with common sense, as it should be for everybody out there listening and watching. That's it. And I can't say it was 1,000 men. As I said, I know it's more than one, though. I know it. We all know it. So we need some answers on that. That's what we need some answers on. We're not going to just sit here and allow you to gaslight us and say, no other men come forward. We have no other names. We have no other this. It can't be.
If you want the truth, we are going to sit here and allow it, because nobody's going to do anything about it. I mean, people will bitch and moan, they'll write tweets. Nobody's going to do anything about it. This is the end. When Todd Blanche says it's the end, it's the end. There's not going to be anything else.
Well, Massey said he had a list of names. We have accusers. We have accusers, right? And can we get into Elon? Elon says, where he says, I'll pay for the loss, for the legal fees, right?
I have to agree with Matt Walsh on this, though. And I'm going to bring up what you just said. We're going to show people what you are talking about, because I happen to agree with Matt Walsh on this. Let me pull that up real quick, because what you're talking about is where Matt Walsh said something, and then the Epstein said that he would pay the legal fees for anybody. Here it is right here. And I'm going to put it up right here so everybody can see it because I happen to agree with what he's saying right here. Okay. So he says, Matt Walsh says, I'm all for releasing the files. These women could also just name their abusers at any time. Instead, they've embarked on a months-long publicity campaign, which curiously didn't start until the exact moment Biden left office. They profess to know the name of child rapists in the most powerful positions in society, yet they won't tell us. They'll even take out a Super Bowl ad while claiming to be silenced, even though they're the ones refusing to give us the information they say they have. Okay, then he said, for those claiming that they can't name names because they'll be sued, they could simply give the names to any of their many and most very recent advocates in Congress who could read the names out loud from the floor, insulating them and these women from any litigation. But they refuse to do that. He also said, I'm seeing a lot of really lame explanations as to why these women can't just say the names themselves or give the names to someone in Congress, blah, blah, blah. But no one has even attempted to explain why these women only spoke up once Biden left office. We had 4 years, no press conferences, yada, yada, yada. But the thing is, so he said, Elon Musk said, I'm willing to, where is it? I want to see if I can find right here. Right here. He says, I will pay for the defense of anyone who speaks the truth about this and is sued for doing so. I've got to say, though, I agree with Matt Walsh on this. I agree with him. They've known these names for years. There's been plenty of ways they could have outed these people, and they never have. Well, I want to know what's going on here, man.
It's a Democrat hit job. That's what's going on. We talked about this. This is the way that we're going to try to get President Trump out of office, and they're trying to do it again. These women, this little ad that was put out last night, it wasn't aired during the Super Bowl because they weren't paying $8 million. What they did is it was coordinated. It was as soon as it came out online, it was reposted by Acosta. It was reposted by Chuck Schumer. It was reposted by Ro Khanna. This was a Democrat hit job. But Elon Musk says, I will pay if these women get sued by their accusers, probably because they all have NDAs. Probably.
And they won't do it at all. They will not do it. Even if they get sued, they won't do it. And I'll tell you why they won't do it, because you know why they won't do it. Because it is a hit job. This is meant to happen during Trump's administration. That's why they didn't do it during the Biden administration, because it's meant to mar Trump's administration. But the biggest thing, it's meant to get him out of office after 2026 midterms.
Well, that's what we said. We did that a few shows ago, right?
Yep.
Here's what I would like Elon to do. And I looked up Elon's net, not his liquid wealth. Elon's liquid wealth, they estimate it to be about $1 billion, maybe a little less. Obviously, he's worth about 800.
Oh, he's going to be the first trillionaire. Yeah.
Yeah. With his, with all his assets, with SpaceX and XAI, especially, it's worth 1.25 trillion. Oh, yeah. And he owns 43% of it. But I would like Elon to put up, I don't know, if he says he wants to do this, put up a $50 million fund and say, this is the fund for if you get sued for releasing some names. Let's go. Let's go. We know there are other guys out there. Let's go. Is it because they're the wrong names? Is it because it'll ruin their whole narrative against President Trump? What the hell's going on here? We want justice. We want justice. You say you have names. This is someone saying he's willing to pay any legal trouble that might come from you releasing names. Let's go.
And I got to say, and I agree with people that are like Deborah and Hicks are saying that, they got paid off years ago. But what I don't understand is they keep putting out these ads with tape over their mouths. We've been silenced. We're silenced. But yet you're the one that signed an NDA. You could still say whatever the hell you want.
Right.
I mean, Elon Musk is saying he's willing to cover your legal fees. He's willing to pay whatever the settlement ends up being if you talk, but you still won't talk.
That's my point. And it's driving us crazy now because, like I just said, common sense says to anybody, there's more than one person. These women just weren't all abused by Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Why won't you say the names when now you especially have the richest man in the world saying, I will pay for your legal fees if you come out with names? There's nothing stopping you now. Nothing. Nothing. And Thomas Massie came out and with his big press conferences, with people behind him calling the president of the United States a pedophile. I've got 20 names. I'll read them off in Congress because you'll be protected that way. Well, where is it, Thomas Massie?
Exactly.
Let's go. Come on.
Once he might have, who knows? They might have given him the names and he might have been like, oh no, I can't read these. Maybe that's the reason nobody's saying the names.
Then give them to somebody else. Do something. Leak. You guys can't leak it? You leak everything you want to
they
about
leak
President Trump. Yeah. Yeah, you leak everything you want about President Trump to try and damage him. You can't leak these names. We're sick of this crap. We're tired of it. So we're on your side. Everybody, put the names out. Let's go. I don't care if they're Republicans. I could care less. If they are accused, they have their day in court. But if you're telling me this person did this to you, let's hear it then. Stop.
I got to say, though, I think they're more afraid, like Raina says. I think they're more afraid of being Virginia. What's her last name? I can't pronounce her last name.
Geoffrey.
Yeah. I think they're more afraid of being her than any kind of NDA or suit or anything like that.
Oh, then Elon should say, I'll pay for your security, too. Do something.
I think Todd Blanche is also afraid of that. You know, the people don't realize that this network goes far above anything that the DOJ is. I mean, the people that are the most powerful in the world, Jay, are the globalist cabal. They are the people whose names you do not know. They are not people like a Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. They are not people like a Bill Gates. They are not people like a Jeff Bezos. They are powerful people that come from families that have ruled parts of the world for centuries. All right. Yeah. And it might sound like some kind of crazy conspiracy theory, but remember the Plantagenet royal bloodline? You remember that?
Of course.
The Plantagenet royal, every U.S. president except for one is part of the Plantagenet royal bloodline. They're all related to each other. Yep. And you're telling me there's not families that have controlled parts of the world for centuries? Those, Jay, are the most powerful people in the world. Those are the globalist cabal.
Yeah, I know. It's just very frustrating because, like I said, I'm tired of them using it, like the left and the media using this as some kind of cudgel against conservatives, against President Trump. But meanwhile, we're here. Let's go. Give us something. We're willing to go with it. You
did see where in the Epstein files there was internal FBI discussion documents that show clear and specific guidance on how to redact images tied to former presidents, a Secretary of State, major celebrities, not to protect victims, but to protect these people's names. There is actual, in fact, I'll show it to you. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here is the document that I'm talking about. And it says, it's from the New York FBI field office to the Central FBI field office, international, yada, yada, yada. And it says, good morning, blank. Do you know what is the guidance for redacting images or who would be able to assist with the guidance? Yada, yada, yada. And then it says, do we have clear guidelines for redacting images? And it says, where the hell is right? Okay, it says, something needs to clear and specific guidance to redact those photographs. Some photographs depict victims, unknown identified females and males, former U.S. presidents, Secretary of State, and other celebrities. It says the software does not have IA facial recognition to assist with identification of some public officials and celebrities. So we need guidance on how to redact those names and images. Not victims, Jay.
Right. Well, you know, the Democrats were the ones that, we have to have these files now. We have to have them released. Let's go. You win. But what's the problem though? You don't want Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. They're trying to defend them all day, trying to make, they shouldn't have to come in and testify against it. Well, why not? They're mentioned in these files probably more than anybody, right? We know they're in there a ton. Why? What are you protecting them for? You guys are the one that brought this up again when President Trump became president. Why all of a sudden? Why can't Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton testify before Congress? What's the problem? You're fighting tooth and nail to stop it from happening, and you're trying to. And now that it's going to happen, you're trying to make it where they don't actually have to answer any questions. I was watching today. It's ridiculous. And it's bipartisan. It's bipartisan. Listen, nothing is bipartisan when it comes to the Democrats. Nothing. It's their way or the highway, and you get a couple of weak Republicans to go along with it. And then it's bipartisan. It's nonsense. It's not bipartisan. They were browbeaten into going along with this. Well, you guys got what you wanted. Now it's not turning out the way you thought because it's a lot more Democrat influential people in there that are hurt by this. And now all of a sudden you don't like it. It's kind of like body cameras when it came to the police. They wanted those body cameras so bad. Once they came out and realized that they were going to hurt them, these aren't so good. I'm not sure these are good. We need to take these away from the cops. It's showing too much. It's the same thing. It's the same thing to me. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. And you know, it's funny you brought up the Clintons because the main topic of our episode today, which we're going to go ahead and get into it now, is the connection between the Guthries, the Clintons, Epstein, and what that means for Nancy Guthrie. Now, Jay, let me tell you, apparently, now I'm sure, I don't know if you, I mean, I'm sure you probably know this. I don't know how many people actually know this, but they are connected deeply to the Clintons, because Savannah Guthrie's husband, Michael Feldman, he is actually the founder of Glover Park Group, which is a Democratic power firm. You know, it was built by the Clinton and Gore insiders. Feldman actually served, Savannah Guthrie's husband actually served inside the Clinton Al Gore White House as an advisor before launching Glover Park with Joe Lockhart, who is Bill Clinton's henchman in the White House. Okay. And get this, in 2017, Barack Obama purchased his Kellerama residence for $8 million from Joe Lockhart, who is, like I said, Clinton's former White House press secretary and a senior partner at Glover Park Group with Michael Feldman. So that right there, that connects the Clintons, Obama, and the Guthries together. Okay. And the crazy thing about that is it also connects the Epsteins together, because the Clintons are deeply embedded with the Epsteins. Okay. Now we're talking about the fact that this just, I mean, these kidnappings where it's celebrity kidnappings, high profile kidnappings, are very rare, extremely rare when it's an older person. Okay. And even more extremely rare when they're not actually asking for a real ransom. They're asking for $6 million in Bitcoin. But if they actually wanted the money, if it wasn't a distraction, they would have sent the notes to the family, not to the media. Yeah. Okay. So that tells you right there, they're not actually looking for money, Jay. That's not what they want. So tell me the end game here. The end game is fear. And I'm going to tell you why. The Clintons are all wrapped up in Epstein. In fact, they were subpoenaed to testify, ignored the first subpoena, and now they are going to testify. And I believe it's February 25th is when they're going to testify. The schedule just came out. And so let me tell you, if that's the case, what do you do when, first of all, did you know that Savannah Guthrie was the first person to interview all of the Epstein victims on television in 2019? She was the first person that interviewed every single Epstein victim. Now you got the Epstein files coming out. You got the Clintons that need to testify about this. Then you've got Michael Feldman and Savannah Guthrie. First of all, Savannah Guthrie is all wrapped up in the Epsteins because she was investigating it, talking to the victims and everything else. Michael Feldman was their closest advisor to the Clintons and Obama. He knows all about that stuff. Okay. He knows all about their inner workings, what they would do, what they wouldn't do with their flight logs, because it's not just, it doesn't stop when just because it was in the late 1900s. Okay. What happened was, or late 1990s, excuse me. What happened was now they own a Democratic power firm, Savannah Guthrie's husband. So they are all wrapped up in anybody that's a Democrat right now, including the Clintons and every other person. You know, the Democrats are sick people. Most of them are probably wrapped up with Epstein. So what are you going to do when, let's say you're the Clintons, okay, Jay? Let's say you are Bill and Hillary Clinton. You're Bill and Hillary Clinton. Okay, you've got right now, the Epstein files just came out. You know, the flight logs have your names all over it. You know, you're going to be questioned all about your connection with them, okay? And then you skip a subpoena. You're like, all right, we're going to skip a subpoena. Then they say, all right, you're going to have to come to this one or we're going to hold you in contempt. So what do? What do you do when there's people out there who are considering, especially with Savannah? I'm sure Michael probably talked to her at night in bed, told her everything he knows. And she was the one, like I said, that interviewed the Epstein victims. So what do you do when you want to keep people quiet? You show them fear. And this may not be just about Savannah and Michael. This could be about other people that know, hey, look what the Clintons did to them. I better stay quiet or they'll do it to me. It could be a warning to everybody, or it could be something just to keep the Guthries quiet, because maybe you might see them subpoenaed next. Who knows? I'm sure their lawyers told them things about the investigation, Jay.
I'm just thinking, again, somebody who put it up there, was it Raina? Yeah, the Clintons, it always involves the Clintons every single time. I'm telling you, I think once those two leave this earth, however it may be, whenever it may be, things in this country are going to be a lot just smoother. Because
not just this country, the whole world. Look they destroyed Haiti, man. They destroyed it.
every time something happens, it's a major story. Somehow it revolves around them. Somehow they're in the orbit, and somehow there's always more questions than answers. And somehow we never get the answers we're looking for. And it leads to stuff like we're talking about right now. It's every single time. They are, I mean, they're going to have to go down in history 100, 200 years from now when people look back on this as this wrecking ball. It's a wrecking ball. These two people, especially her, in my opinion, as absolute wrecking balls of trust, of faith in certain institutions in this country that I don't know when we recover from it, because we're just going through it now. For instance, with this investigation into this disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mom, right? And somehow the Clintons are in the orbit. Once again,
you see how they're connected, the Clintons and Epstein, and the timing of this, Jay. You can't ignore the timing.
The day after the day after we just saw Todd Blanche, the next day is when this happens with Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Yeah. So first of all, the files come out. They're subpoenaed. They ignore the subpoena. They're held in contempt, and another subpoena is set. They say, okay, we're going to testify, but before they do, Savannah Guthrie, the first person ever to interview the Epstein victims, and Michael Feldman, the person who was the Clintons' closest advisor for the longest time and is the owner of a Democratic power broker firm, their mother goes missing. So you got to tell me that you can't ignore the timing here. Also, with the fact that there's problems. There's other problems with this. Okay.
Yes.
There are so many things going on here, but let me tell you that it's impossible to ignore the timing of this. For everybody that doesn't know, the fact that she would just happen to be kidnapped at this time. Okay. There's just, I mean, you just can't ignore coincidences.
It's 100% right. And there's circumstances around this disappearance. A lot of people who you see on TV, former FBI investigators, are saying certain things like, we don't have, with the doorbell not being, a subscription's not up to date. Let's see. Did somebody know that subscription wasn't up to date? So it couldn't, it wasn't going to be downloaded into the system. All they have is audio. There's no video. Did they know that? You don't have, like, what they're saying looks like a real struggle, a real forced entry. It looks like, somebody had some knowledge of the layout here. Of everything going on. There are certain things that just don't lead to some rando kidnapping. That's the thing here, that it's definitely, they're thinking somebody that knows her, a family member, like you said, or somebody that was told certain things to go and do this operation. Who knows? But it's already bizarre. It's already perplexing. Even Savannah Guthrie, and I'm not passing judgment on her, but that thing, Jack, do you have that?
Hold on. Before you say that, let me pull it up, because I want to pull it up while you say that, because that is weird. I mean, that's just, now for the people that don't know, go ahead and tell them real quick what it is, but don't tell them what she says. Just tell them what it is.
All right. Well, there's a movie. I'm sure everybody's heard of it, Silence of the Lambs. And there's a scene in the movie where somebody is on tape pleading for the safe return of somebody who has been abducted. And you guys can watch this, and they're compared, and you guys tell us what you think, but it's just weird, man. It just adds to the weirdness, and it gets the questions going like, wait, what? Really? It can't be. You can't do this by accident.
Yeah, no, you can't. And after this video, I'm going to tell you, Jay, and the rest of the world what I actually think happened based on the evidence that I have. And I'm talking about, there's other things that I know that I haven't told everybody. I mean, you probably know them too, but there's no need in getting through all of them. We've told you the most important things, okay? But after this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think happened, Jay, and I'm going to tell you who I think actually did it.
All right.
So take a listen, everybody. And I want you to particularly listen to the ending of Savannah Guthrie's, what she says at the end of her video. And then I want you to take a listen to the end of the video of Silence of the Lambs. Listen to exactly what they both say.
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
Say what?
What? It's too much. It's too much. You can't tell me that's by accident.
What the hell is that? Nobody says talk to her and you'll see. A kidnapped person, you do not say she's so talk to her and you'll see. Nobody says that.
I'm waiting for her to say, take this thing back to Baltimore. I'm waiting for like lines from Silence of the Lambs to come out now. And Savannah Guthrie came out again today, and her statement today was actually a little more, to me, I hate to say normal, but kind of more normal, like for somebody that this is going on to, like in their family.
It's normal as it gets for her.
Right. That's what I mean. But how the hell do you come out and, first of all, you're reading. Again, Jack,
she says the same thing that the woman in Silence of the Lambs says. The exact talk to her and you'll see. Okay, Jay.
In the same way. And in the same way.
If your wife is kidnapped, Jay, your wife is kidnapped, are you going to tell people to talk to her and see how good she is? She's so good. Talk to her and you'll see.
No, especially knowing that it was already said in one of the most famous movies of all time. I'm not going to say that. She's
kidnapped. How can anybody talk to her? Why would you say talk to her and you'll see?
I don't know. And it's just so weird. It's so weird.
Sorry about the yelling. I got passionate,
It just adds to it. It just adds to the whole thing where you just like, can we once, and I said it before, can we for once have like a normal investigation into something that goes wrong in this country? Can we please, maybe when the Clintons, as I said, move on at whatever time that is, maybe we'll start having normalcy back, because we just don't. It's every single time.
And for everybody that doesn't know, I'm going to play this one more time. I want you guys to hear this. Okay? I want you to hear this. I want everybody to hear this one more time. Listen to what Savannah Guthrie says at the end. Then listen to, what is her name? That's driving me nuts. What's her name?
Her real name?
No, not Savannah Guthrie, the actress.
Oh, I don't know. I forget.
That's driving me nuts. That's going to drive that's going to drive me nuts. You're going to have to tell me what it is.
I'll look right now. I'll look right now while you're playing it.
You know when a name is like in the back of your, you can it's on the tip of your tongue, but you can't. Who is that?
I'm going to look right now. Play it.
Oh, it's going to drive me nuts, man. Yeah. You got to tell me before we move on, or I'm just going to go crazy. Who is that? I know it's Anthony Hopkins and Jodie. No.
Jodie Foster was the Agent Starling.
Anthony.
All right, her name is Diane Baker. She was Senator.
Are you sure?
Yep, that's it.
I've never heard that name before.
Yeah, I mean, it's Diane Baker. She portrays Senator Ruth Martin, the mother of abducted Catherine Martin, played by Brooke Smith in the film.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I would have never guessed that name because she looks so familiar. But I mean, in terms of the name, I would have never said Diane Baker. That's weird.
Are you thinking maybe like or know who she looks like a little bit in that picture? She looks
the woman in Terminator.
Not the woman. No. She looks a little bit like Lorraine Bracco. Who was
no. Well, kind of. She also looks like Sarah. She looks like a mix of Lorraine Bracco and Sarah Connor.
A little bit, yeah, I could see it. But that's what I think it looks. That's who she looks like a little. Yeah, that's the resemblance. But nope, not them. But this whole thing is just. This is just. I saw this and I said, "You got to be kidding me! Is this a skit?"
Yep. I'm going to play it one more time for everybody. I want you to listen to the end of what Savannah Guthrie says and then listen to the end of what the senator says. Both of these people have had their loved ones kidnapped. And is this something that you would say at the end of a letter pleading to kidnappers to bring back your mom?
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Wait. Jay, let's back it up. Look at her face. When she says that, she doesn't look sad. She doesn't look angry. She doesn't look worried. Look at her face when she says this.
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
That looks rehearsed, if you ask me. But that's just
me. Has to be. Well, she's reading a script. She's reading a script.
I'm talking about her facial expressions and everything. It's almost like she's like, I don't know. It's like she feels like she's in a movie or something. But anyways, listen to what she says one more time and then this woman again. Listen.
And you'll see.
Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Nowhere. Okay, Jay, nowhere in the history of kidnappings, in the history of the world, has anybody ever said the exact same line as person in a movie in a kidnap note where they're pleading for their family. She's full of knowledge. Talk to her and you will see she's full of knowledge.
Never.
That'll get her back to me.
Never.
What?
No, it's too much, man. As I said, it's just too much. It's too much to deal with. It really is.
What the hell is happening here?
I don't know. I said, it just adds to the whole thing where you're just like, come on, something's off here. From jump, a lot of people thought something was kind of off as this story started to pick up, some steam. I just hope this woman's alive. I don't, I hope she is. That's all I hope right now. Whether we're ever going to get the truth here.
Well, based on the evidence, Jay, though, it doesn't look, I'm going to tell you why it doesn't look like it. One, there was blood found. That's how they know she was kidnapped and not missing. Two, she has, from what I understand, and this is what I've heard, she has a pacemaker that's been disconnected. Now, I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if it's been turned off. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard.
And she needs medication. And she needs medication.
Yeah. And they can find you, though, based on your pacemaker. They could find your location based on the ping of the pacemaker. So if it's turned off, A, they can't find you, but B, it can't jumpstart her heart. Right. See right there, Hickser says the pacemaker was turned off. That leads me to believe, one, somebody had to know this really well. It had to be somebody inside. Nobody kidnaps somebody and says, hey, I wonder if she has a pacemaker. How do I turn it off?
Right.
Nobody does that, Jay.
Right.
Somebody knew she had a pacemaker.
That's what we're saying. Somebody had knowledge. There was knowledge here. There was knowledge of the layout of the land. There might have been knowledge of the fact that that doorbell didn't have a subscription where it would record. There's knowledge of the pacemaker. There's knowledge here. That's why a lot of people saying this isn't just some random abduction. It's somebody that knows this woman.
Can I tell you what happened?
Let's hear what you got.
I'm going to give you my theory of what happened based on the evidence that I have, that I've seen, not just everything that we've seen here. I've shown you the main stuff, but there's little incremental things that I know. I'm going to tell you what I think happened, okay?
Okay.
I believe, and again, this is just my own personal opinion. I am not saying this is what happened. This is just what I believe happened. This is alleged for all the lawyers out there. Okay. I believe that Anne Guthrie and her husband, what's his name? Thomas something or other? What's his name?
Yeah. Oh, geez. What was her
husband? The husband.
Yeah. Let me look really quick. I want to get his name right.
That screwed up my whole thing there, Jay.
I want to get his name right. Hold on.
Yeah, I can't think of his damn name.
I'll get it.
Tommaso Cioni.
Tommaso Cioni, that's it.
Okay, so I'm going to start over. I personally believe that Anne Guthrie and Tommaso Cioni are the ones that kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. Okay? Now, I don't believe they're looking for a ransom. I believe those notes are a distraction. I believe those notes are meant to waste time. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the first one passed, there's not been any proof of life. And I'm going to tell you why there's not been any proof of life. Nancy Guthrie is already dead, for one. Okay? The second thing is that the reason that I believe they kidnapped her is because they are in dire financial straits, from what I understand. Dire financial straits. Okay? And if you're the Clintons and you are wrapped up in an Epstein investigation that could bring your entire life and legacy crumbling down, you're not going to let that happen. You're the same people that killed JFK Jr. so you could become senator. There is no way you are going to let a Guthrie bring you down. So what do? You don't want Savannah Guthrie or Michael Feldman to talk or do anything that, whatever it is. So what do? You hire the people that are in dire financial straits to kidnap this woman. Now, I don't think they meant to kill her. I do think she is dead. I think it was an accidental death. It's still murder regardless.
Right.
But I don't think they meant to kill her. Now they're in trouble because they have no way to give any proof of life, Jay. They have no way to give proof of life. So I do think she's dead. I think Tommaso Cioni and Anne Guthrie kidnapped her at the behest of the Clintons, who probably gave them money to do such a thing. And this is just, again, my own personal opinion based on what I've seen.
Well, if the Clintons did, then we'll never find out that they did because it was probably done in some way that will never be figured out. Number one, right? Mm-hmm. Number two, the deadline has passed 49 minutes ago, the second deadline, and there's no proof of life. There's no resolution here as of now at this moment. So what now? Now where do you go? If you want to, if it's them, now what do you do? What for them? What happens? Do they disappear now, Jack? Or all of a sudden they gone? Well, no, because they're being looked at very closely. They're not going to be able to go anywhere at this point.
But right now, let me tell you what they're going to do. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what they're going to do. They're going to stay exactly where they are because the Clintons probably already paid them, and it's not going to be Hillary and Bill Clinton saying, "Hey guys, can you do this for us?" Right. Obviously not. It's going to be an intermediary where they have no idea who hired them to do it.
Or 10 intermediaries.
Yeah. Exactly. They're not going to know who actually hired them to do it. But, they were in dire financial straits, so they did this. She accidentally died, which is why the pacemaker's off. It's why, the Apple Watch is not registering a pulse or anything. She died during the kidnapping, and I'm sure it was probably accidental. That's why there was blood. That's why they're searching, manhole covers on the property and all that kind of stuff. But I think, one, they may never find that body. Because, if the Clintons did go through an intermediary to hire these people to do this, the easiest thing to do would be for that intermediary to take the body as proof that they did what they were supposed to do and show the Clintons and then dispose of it. That's what you do. You in cartels, they'll cut the head off, bring it to the head guys so they can say, hey, look, we actually did this. That might be the case in this, not cutting the head off, but the body given to the intermediary. So that way the Clintons know it actually happened, then the body's disposed of. You may never see Nancy Guthrie again. But I will tell you, it's highly likely, Jay, that Tommaso Cioni and Ann Guthrie murdered Nancy Guthrie. They meant to kidnap her for money, but instead they killed her. And these deadlines, it's just meant to buy time. That's all it is, meant to buy time. So that way it gives whoever's disposing of the body and stuff more time to get rid of whatever they need, all of the evidence, okay? You're not going to find anything. You're not going to, for my personal opinion, I don't think you're going to find Nancy Guthrie. If you do, there's no way she'll be alive. That's just my personal opinion.
I hope you're wrong, but it makes sense. And did they use Jeffrey Epstein's sulfuric acid that he purchased? Which I'm
People don't realize. Tell them what happened, Jay.
Well, I mean, let's first of all, sulfuric acid will not get rid of bones and stuff like that. So it's not that easy.
No, it burns off the flesh, and then you grind up the bones. That's what happens.
So, I mean, you might still find some dental records, and you will find bones. You could do DNA and all that, whatever. But
tell them what happened.
Oh, with Jeffrey Epstein, sulfuric acid purchased? Well, he purchased, what was it, 55 gallons?
I think he purchased 6 55-gallon drums.
6 55-gallon drums, and he happened to do that on the exact day that the investigation was reopened. Was it back in 2018, I believe?
Yep.
So the same day that the FBI reopened the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, here's a purchase for 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be sent to St. James, St. James Island. And listen, there's plenty of legitimate reasons to need those sulfuric acid on that island for desalination, whatever they call it, of water and things like that. My next question was, were there any receipts for anything legitimate that the acid was used for? And no, they haven't found any. There's none in the files. But did anybody, it's kind of like the jerky, Jack, did anybody really do a deep dive into this sulfuric acid that we know of?
No, I don't think anybody did a deep dive into the sulfuric acid. I can tell you, though, there is a receipt from when he purchased the sulfuric acid, and I'm trying to find out exactly. And it goes much deeper than that. If for anybody that knows, or for anybody that wants to know, he got the sulfuric acid on the same day that the investigation was reopened back into him. He got it sent to Little St. James Island, which would suggest he wants to get rid of bodies.
Or
mainly children's bodies.
Or evidence, or let's say
evidence of any kind.
Yeah.
Evidence of any kind. But let me say, it goes much deeper than this. For anybody that wants to, I would look up how Wayfair connects to Epstein. Okay? Now, that is something that's going to shock you. In fact, Jay, next episode, I am going to bring actual evidence that Wayfair, and this is my own personal, and again, I got to say alleged because I'm not trying to get sued here. No, I am going to bring actual evidence that Wayfair allegedly sold children through their website.
All of this stuff is allegedly. The Savannah Guthrie, this is allegedly. We're just,
this is
all allegedly, but we're just trying to put 2 and 2 together and connect some dots, but it's all allegedly, obviously.
Okay? I mean, yeah, of course. Even if we have actual evidence, we can't say that's what it is because the government has to say that. We can't do that. We don't have immunity. So I'm going to say, though, that I will bring alleged evidence that proves Wayfair was actually in cahoots to sell missing children. And that's going to shock everybody. You want to be shocked, Jay? You think Epstein was bad? Wait till you see some of the shit I've seen about Wayfair.
Well, again, you had to hit me with this beef jerky, whatever you did today. Now I'm going to hear about this. It's hard to listen to. It really is, because it's just, it makes you sick. It makes
This
you
is
sick to
really
your
the
stomach.
Wayfair thing, Jay.
Well, let's move on to a better note with the next episode, so we could talk about that real quick. Who else will have? What else we'll be doing in the next episode? Why don't we tell people that also?
Well, the next episode is Thursday, so I don't really know
Oh wait,
yet.
you're talking about Monday. I'm thinking of next Monday already, Jack.
You're thinking of Monday's episode, President's
Yeah.
Day, baby.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. We got Thursday. We're telling you what we got coming up. Jack's going to talk about Wayfair and maybe the connections here, and then tell about Monday, Jack.
Oh yeah, so yeah, like he said, Thursday I'm gonna show you some real evidence that Wayfair was connected in child trafficking. You want to talk about Epstein? Wayfair was even bigger in this thing. But Monday is the big episode you're definitely gonna want to watch. You're gonna be, right here at Secret America TV on X, YouTube, and Rumble. Rumble.com/LFA-TV for the Live from America TV network. We will have Representative Congressman Tim Burchett on President's Day next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. He will be right here with us to talk about all sorts of things. We are going to ask him the questions that everybody have always wanted to know answers of. I mean, I'm going to ask him some of the things that we all want answers about, and I'm not talking about just Epstein stuff. I'm talking about big events, big things that have happened in America over the last 50 years or so. I want to ask him if certain things are real. If this happened, I want to ask him what he thinks about this. And so does Jay. We are going to have Representative Tim Burchett on, the most honest man in Congress. So if you want answers to your questions, to real questions, real answers, Tim Burchett is the one congressman that will actually answer the questions rather than sidestep them, Jay.
Yeah, I also feel like he's one of the few people that's actually there for the right reason. That's actually there fighting for us, for, in particular, his constituents in his district. But I feel like for the American, citizen as a whole, I feel like Tim Burchett's a pretty genuine guy, and he gets pissed off when, the same way we do when we see this nonsense going on in Congress. You hear when he comes out, he's always recording on his phone saying they did it again. They're screwing us again. Yeah. I mean, he seems like a real genuine person and there for the right reasons. And I'm going to say it in my horrible New York accent. I'll say, I can't wait for this daggum episode. Did I say that right?
And so Deborah asks, can we ask some questions? I will say that for people that want to be on the chat, whether it's Rumble or YouTube or X, you can get in on the chat on X. Is probably the easiest way to do it. Click the live chat, during the episode, but you can also do Rumble or YouTube and get in on the chat where we can see you here, where we can put your thing up here. And we will, if we have time. Now, we should have time because we're going to try to get through the questions rather quickly. So, just put them in the chat. And if you have questions, we will try to get to some of your questions. Now, we can't guarantee we'll get to all of them, but we will get at least some of them.
His time is limited. I mean, he's busy. I mean, he's even on a holiday. These guys are just running around all over the place doing things. We're just glad we got him for the amount of time we're going to have him for. So
absolutely, that's why he had to reschedule from tonight, because he has a vote that's going on until like 7:15. Then he has two other functions that he's scheduled for at 8 and 9 o'clock. He's got so much stuff to do, always running around. That's why we'll have him from about 7 p.m. to 7:20 p.m. Maybe a little longer if he's able to stay till 7:30. At the most, we'll have him for 30 minutes. So, asking questions. We're going to do what we can to get to some of your questions. But the questions
Jack, I have an idea. How about, like Deborah said, maybe we send you guys questions. How about under the post, which is on Secret America, the one where we're promoting Tim Burchett?
Yes.
You guys put some questions down there, and we'll try and pick a couple that we can possibly get to the congressman. How about that?
Yes, and they've got to be good questions, though. We're not asking just, like, does he know this or that? We want to ask stuff that people have always wanted to know the answer to, because if you have ever wanted to know the answer to something like, was the moon landing really fake? Did we actually go to the moon? Are there actually, is there actually an ice wall at the end of Antarctica? Well, things like that. I'm talking about questions that most people think are crazy, but that a congressman would know the answers to. If you want to ask that kind of question, we will try to help you get it answered. He is the one congressman that would do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay.
That might actually answer it. Correct.
Exactly. That's why, put your questions underneath the post. Yeah, just put your questions underneath the post. We'll do the best that we can. All right, so I think Jay, that we have solved all the problems we can for this episode. I will say though that even though what I said was alleged, I do think based on the evidence that's what happened. That's what's going on, and at the very least, I mean, I happen to think that when someone's kidnapped, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody close to them.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to say, Tommaso, Sione, and Ann Guthrie did it, whether it was the Clintons that helped, whether it was the Clintons that facilitated it or not, I think those two are the ones that were involved the most. So, Jay, that's just my personal opinion. But I just want to say that, make sure you guys tune into our next episode Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then also on President's Day with Representative Tim Burchett. For Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.